On record, the time is 12:23.
Mr. Falk, at the break, were you able to locate the bank account?
Yes, it's 0535614325. That's my understanding was the account.
Now, did you ever have a purchase agreement to sell the Laguna Road property to somebody by the name of Bice, B-I-C-E?
Yes.
Did Bice buy the property?
They did not.
Who did?
Yeah, who did?
I don't recollect the buyer's name.
Raymond
What was the
Foakes.
deal with Bice?
It never came to fruition, so I don't really remember the details.
What were you trying to do?
I was trying to sell it for as much money as I could so our community would have as much money as possible.
Yeah, what the hell's
Were you
angels?
trying to get some of the money credited back to the buyer?
I believe there was some.
Yeah.
How much?
To
was that?
Raymond Michael Foakes.
And did that money ever get credited back to the buyer?
The deal never came to fruition.
Oh,
But the property got
It
sold
did.
to somebody.
It did.
it did.
Craig Darracott, correct?
If that's what it says on the purchase agreement, then that's what it would be. I do not have a copy of the purchase agreement here.
Do you know Craig Darracott?
I do not.
Do you still have an interest in that property?
I do not.
Have you spoken to Mr. Darracott in the last 6 months?
I have not.
Have you spoken to anyone on Mr. Darracott or Mr. Johnson's behalf?
I have not.
Did you execute a series of deeds relating to property that was to be transferred to the trust?
I do not know what you're referring to.
Did you execute any quitclaim deeds about the time the trust was formed?
The marital trust?
Yes.
I don't remember.
Did you state to Mr. Disharoon what your intent was with respect to creation of the marital trust?
Yes.
Does Mr. Disharoon have any interest in the trust?
Not to my understanding.
Would Mr. Disharoon have any incentive to flavor his testimony one way or another?
You'd have to ask him that.
Well, do you know of any?
I do not know of any.
Okay. Now, who paid Mr. Disharoon for his services?
I believe I did.
Did you pay from the bill paying account?
I do not recollect.
Was there ever any letter of intent or contract signed with regard to the Laguna Road property with Harry Coffey as the buyer?
No.
Harry Coffey ever make an offer to buy the property?
No.
Let me show you a document that says it's a letter of intent to purchase.
Yeah, we talked about this, but there would be no money for us, so we never even considered it.
Yeah.
So there was a letter of intent prepared by somebody signed by Mr. Coffey on 6/21/06.
Yes.
Now, the way I understand this letter of intent to have been structured is that it provided for a $36,000 payment to Shannon to cover her estimated portion of tax liability. Correct?
If that's what it says there, I do not have a copy of that.
Well, you want to look at it? You remember seeing that, right?
I do. I remember it was very hard to sell that property.
And why wouldn't your tax liability be accounted for in that letter of intent?
I have no idea.
Isn't what you were trying to do is pass on the equity to somebody friendly to you and take care of her tax consequences and get her out of that property?
I do not recollect.
Weren't you trying to keep that property really for yourself?
When Shannon and I first split up, what seemed like the most equitable solution with the least amount of legal fees was for her to take one rental property, me take the other, being this one, for us to sell one to bring our debts current, and then sell the personal residence to have cash to move forward. Unfortunately, Shannon did everything she could and has been doing to the detriment of our community, and we have not been able to do that. So we were very upside down in Laguna Road, and we were just looking for creative ways to, to deal with it, trying to offer her something that might appeal to her. Other than that, I don't recollect. There were a lot of
Lies
schemes
don't appeal to me.
that we had discussed.
Is one of the schemes you discussed refunding money back to you from the buyer?
Absolutely not.
You didn't discuss that with any buyer?
No.
How about refunding money back to Mr. Coffey?
No.
How about refunding money back to somebody that you have a relationship with?
Absolutely not. Is this for me to keep?
No, I'll get you a copy if you'd like. Would you like one?
No, it's okay.
Now, you stated that, see, I asked you for the K-1s. I'm going to need those K-1s. I'm also going to need any documents you have concerning the actual distributions. Are they direct deposit from the LP into your personal account?
No.
Do you get a check?
I do.
And don't you have copies of the checks?
No.
You don't keep copies?
I do not.
Okay. I would like your QuickBooks. Have you given any financial statements in the last 5 years?
I'm sure I did.
Do you have those?
I do not.
You don't keep copies of that?
I do not.
How about your mortgage brokers? Would Mr. Coffey have them?
He might.
We'll send him a greeting and we'll get them. Any communications you've had in the last 3 years with the general partner of the limited partnership?
Can you repeat that?
Have you had any communications with the general partner of the limited partnerships in New York?
Not to my knowledge.
Who else would know?
The general partner.
But you don't have a name for them other than
I do not know who he is.
Now, when do you think you can get these QuickBook records to me and the K-1s?
I'm not sure.
Week? 2 weeks?
Yeah. I'll have to discuss it with my attorney and then try and produce them to the fullest. They're not very accurate, I can tell you that.
What's not very accurate?
Those records, they're...
The QuickBooks?
Yeah. But
How about the K-1s? Are they accurate?
I would imagine so.
Well, would you like me to continue this examination to a date certain, or do you want to... I would sooner go to a date certain.
Whatever you want to do. Is that a question you're asking me?
Yes, what do you want?
What do I want?
Yeah, I want
I'd like to go. I'd like to be done now.
Well, I know you would, but I would like to have the K-1s
Okay,
that I
well,
asked for.
I don't know. Any documents prior to separation would be in my ex-wife's possession.
I suspect they're in your accountant's file.
Well, I do not know that. I am not my accountant.
Well, I'll have your accountant sitting in that chair right there next week if you'd like.
Well, it's not what I like.
Well, or you can give me the K-1s that I already subpoenaed from you that you have a duty to produce.
Okay.
Now, when would you like to come back and talk about it?
You pick a date.
September 6th.
Okay.
September 6th at 2 o'clock?
What day of the week is that?
It's a Thursday. It's a
No.
week from Thursday.
I prefer a different day.
September 13th. You don't like Thursday?
I don't like Thursday.
Oh. Is that? Why don't you like Thursdays?
I'll do Thursday morning.
Thursday you get your massage
I do.
every week?
Not every week.
Let's go Wednesday the 12th at 10 o'clock.
I'll have to confirm that with you. I may have a cancer scan in San Francisco that day. I don't have my book here.
Sooner set it the 11th.
You can set it for whatever you want. I will confirm with you after I have a chance to go over my calendar.
All right, and when can you do that? By 5 today?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes.
All right. By 5 today you'll confirm whether the Wednesday the 12th of September is acceptable.
At what time?
Let's call it 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay? And we'll conclude for today. All right, thank you.
This marks the end of Volume 1, Tape 1, and the deposition of Michael Falk.
And so all you want that day are the K1s?
Off record, the time is 12:34.
Both the K1s and the which one?